Research shows that kids with ADHD burn through energy faster than their peers, which means even a small dip in blood sugar can send their emotions spiraling. So that meltdown after school, it might actually start in their lunchbox. Hi, I'm Taryn, an occupational therapist, mom, and founder of Nurture ADHD. And after working with thousands of families, I can tell you that so many after-school meltdowns aren't about attitude or behavior at all. They're about a body and brain that have simply run out of fuel. Inside my Quiet Chaos program, we look at the real-world factors that make afternoons so difficult for kids with ADHD. Things like transitions, sensory overload, and the rhythms of the day. And yes, nutrition and timing of meals often play a role too. Once parents understand what's really draining their child's energy, the whole afternoon starts to make more sense. In this video, we're going to unpack why the ADHD brain feels like it burns through energy so quickly and how that blood sugar crash hijacks emotions and focus, and what kinds of snacks actually help your kids stay calm and steady instead of spiraling by 4 p.m. Because once you understand this piece, those chaotic afternoons start to make a whole lot more sense. If you're parenting a child with ADHD, you already know that afternoons can feel like walking through a minefield. They've held it together the whole day, following rules, fighting distractions, masking frustration, and then the moment they get home, it all unravels. Most parents think, oh, they're just tired, or they're pushing back again. But what's really happening is more like a biological ambush. The ADHD brain relies heavily on glucose-dependent systems, and when blood sugar dips, the areas responsible for emotional control and focus become less effective. The parts of the brain that manage emotions and impulse control start to power down. So what looks like defiance or attitude is often just a brain running on empty. And when we start to see it that way, we start reacting to the behavior and actually start responding to the need underneath it. Imagine this. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. The door opens, the backpack drops, and before you even get a "Hi, Mom," you hear it. The sharp tone, the tears, the explosion over something so small. One sibling breathes too loudly, and it's game over. You tell yourself it's just been a really long day. It's the noise, the homework, the transitions. And sure, all of that certainly plays a role, but underneath it, something simpler and quieter is happening. Their brain is out of fuel. During the school day, so many kids with ADHD don't eat enough, not because they are refusing food, but because their brain just doesn't prioritize hunger. When they're focused on getting through class, they forget to finish lunch, or they get distracted mid-bite talking to friends, or sometimes they can't sit still long enough to eat. And for picky eaters, the cafeteria food may be full of textures and smells that send their nervous system into overdrive. So by the time they get home, their blood sugar has dropped so low that their brain and body can no longer work together to stay calm. That crash looks a lot like defiance, irritability, crying over tiny frustrations, explosive anger, or total emotional shutdown. But it's not disobedience, it's depletion. Their body is shouting, "I'm out of energy!" and their brain is trying to function on fumes. The parts responsible for focus, patience, emotional control can't do their job without fuel. It's like trying to run a marathon on an empty tank. You can push it for a bit, but eventually systems will give out. And this part of the day, the afternoon's chaos, the tears, the constant battles, if this feels like the hardest part of your day, that's exactly the kind of rhythm we build inside Quiet the Chaos. It's where I help you create predictable transitions that work with your child's brain. So snack time, homework time, and bedtime stop feeling like power struggles and start becoming moments of calm connection. And when that happens in a developing ADHD brain, what you see on the outside is chaos, but what's really happening inside is survival. Think of your child's brain like a phone with too many apps open. It's been running since the moment they woke up, managing attention, holding in impulses, remembering rules, filtering noise, staying seated, following instructions. Every one of those apps burns power, and the ADHD brain burns through it faster than it can recharge. By mid-afternoon, it's almost like it's running on 2%. Every little request, hang your bag, start your homework, feels like opening another app when there's simply no battery left. The system freezes, it glitches, and that's when you see the meltdown. When we don't give the brain the right kind of fuel, behavior starts to look like misbehavior. But what's really happening is a low battery brain desperately searching for a power outlet. And the fastest way to recharge it? Food, but the right kind of food. Here's what's happening behind the scenes. The ADHD brain already produces less dopamine, the chemical that helps with focus, motivation, and emotional regulation. Dopamine is like the brain's feel-good messenger. It tells us, stay with this task, this feels good, keep going. Now when blood sugar drops, dopamine drops too. That chemical dip makes it even harder for the brain to think clearly, control emotions, or even follow instructions. For neurotypical kids, a small dip in blood sugar might just make them hungry or tired. But for kids with ADHD, it can trigger full-blown dysregulation, tears, anger, even physical restlessness. Their brain chemistry is already running on a very fine balance, and food is one of the fastest ways to stabilize it again. So that after-school meltdown isn't random, and it's not about attitude, it's biology. A hungry brain asking for help the only way that it knows how. So how do you know if blood sugar is part of your child's afternoon storm? There are clues. You just have to notice them. If it often starts subtly, they walk in the door already tense. They snap over something tiny, a sibling sitting in their seat, the wrong snack, a misplaced toy. Other times, it looks like zoning out, the glassy eyes lying on the couch staring into space. That's not laziness. That's the brain trying to conserve what little energy is left. If these meltdowns or mood swings happen around the same time each day, you're not imagining it. You're watching regulation run out of fuel. Here's what helps. Number 1, offer food. Before the crash, not after. Think of it like fueling a car before the tank hits empty. Have a balanced snack ready the moment they walk in the door. Step 2, make it predictable. Create a rhythm. Snack first, quiet time second, homework third. When their body expects food and calm, the transition home feels safe instead of feeling sudden. Step 3, pair it with connection. Sit with them while they eat. Skip the talk about school or behavior. Just be present. That calm connection helps their nervous system reset faster. We are not talking about perfection. It's about rhythm. Regulation is built in small repeated moments that tell their brain, you're safe. Now let's talk about the part that makes the biggest difference. What kind of snacks actually help calm the ADHD brain? Because not all snacks are created equal. Quick fix options like juice, cookies, or plain crackers give a fast boost and then an even faster crash. It's like lighting a match, bright for a moment and then gone. What you want instead is steady fuel, a mix of protein, complex carbs, and healthy fats that keeps energy and emotion stable. Here's what that looks like. Protein and carb pairings. Apple slices with peanut butter, cheese and whole grain crackers, yogurt with chia seeds or oats, a boiled egg with fruit. Slow burn carbs like whole grain toast, oat muffins, popcorn with olive oil. Smoothies, blend milk or yogurt with banana, oats and nut butter. Great for kids who need softer textures. For sensory sensitive kids, offer textures that they can handle. Smoothies, veggie straws, rolled up deli meat. The goal isn't perfect nutrition. It's accessible fuel that works for your child. And remember, timing matters. Offer that snack before the crash window hits. Even a few bites can stabilize blood sugar enough for their brain to just catch its breath. Because this isn't about healthy eating. It's about regulation through rhythm and fuel. When we use food strategically, we're not just feeding their body, we're also feeding their calm. And once that calm starts to settle in, you'll probably notice something else too. Even when your child is fed, rested, and steady on the outside, some of those same tricky behaviors can show up. The I'm bored loop, the bedtime chaos, the meltdowns that seem to come out of nowhere. And that's because not all dysregulations start in the body. Sometimes it starts in the brain's emotional control center. Watch this video next where I'll share 5 ADHD behaviors almost every parent misreads and what's really going on underneath them so you can respond in a way that builds calm instead of conflict.